Hello and welcome to our podcast, everyone. I am William and I am here with the wonderful Christine. Today we are going to talk about a very special topic, why English is actually easier than you think.
Hi, William. I am so happy to be here. You know, many of our listeners feel that English is a mountain that is too high to climb. They feel stressed and nervous when they try to speak.
That is very common, Christine, but the truth is, English is a very flexible and forgiving language. People often believe it is difficult because they focus on the wrong things, like speed or perfect grammar.
I see that a lot. Many learners think that if they speak fast, they will sound like a native speaker. It makes them rush and then they forget their words.
Exactly. But speed does not equal fluency. In fact, speaking too fast when you are not ready is just panic in disguise. Real fluency is about control, clarity, and calmness. Slowing down is actually the fastest way to become a better speaker.
That is such a relief to hear. So if I talk slowly and clearly, I can still be considered fluent?
Absolutely. Think of great speakers like world leaders or teachers. They do not race through their words. They use pauses. They let their sentences breathe. A pause is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of confidence and control.
I love that, letting the sentences breathe. But what about grammar, William? Everyone is so afraid of making a mistake with he or she or the past tense.
Grammar is important for books, but in spoken English, the rules are much more flexible. For example, many native speakers use phrases that are technically wrong, but very natural. We might say, "What about yourself?" instead of "What about you?"
Oh, I have heard people say that. It sounds very friendly.
It is. And if you use phrases like "sure thing" instead of just "yes," you already sound more natural. Spoken English is made of these little blocks or chunks of words. You don't have to build every sentence from zero. You just need to learn the blocks that fit together.
That makes it feel more like playing with toys than studying a heavy textbook. But how can a beginner start finding these blocks?
The best way is to look at your own life. You don't need to study history or science to practice English. Just talk about your day. Talk about what time you wake up, what you eat for breakfast, or how you feel.
So I should narrate my life like a movie?
Yes, say it out loud. I am making coffee now. The water is hot. I am looking for my keys. This helps your brain stop translating from your native language. It helps you start thinking in English.
I try to do that, but sometimes I feel silly talking to myself.
It might feel funny, but you are training your mouth muscles. Your lips, tongue, and jaw are like athletes. They need a daily workout to handle English sounds. Standing in front of a mirror for 10 minutes a day to talk to yourself is a powerful exercise.
Like a mouth gym. I like that. What about listening, William? I feel like I understand more than I can say.
That is a great sign. It means you already know more English than you realize. To turn that knowledge into speaking power, you can use a secret weapon called shadowing.
Shadowing? Is that when I follow a speaker like an echo?
Exactly. Listen to a video or a podcast and repeat the sentences immediately. You don't need to understand every single word. You're just copying the rhythm and the music of the language.
This sounds much easier than memorizing lists of 10,000 words.
It is, and you can create English zones in your own home. Change your phone language to English. Put sticky notes on your furniture with the English names. You don't need to travel to London or New York to learn. You can build a little London right in your room.
That is such a smart tip. But William, what about the fear? Sometimes I meet a native speaker and my heart starts to race. I feel like I'm going to crash.
We call that courage fluency. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is speaking even when your hands are shaking. Remember, the goal of English is connection, not perfection. If the other person understands you, you have succeeded.
Connection, not perfection. I need to write that on my wall. I think many learners are their own toughest teachers. They get grouchy with themselves when they make a small mistake.
They do. They blow things out of proportion. A small grammar mistake is not a biohazard. It's just a part of the process. If you wait until your English is perfect before you speak, you will wait forever. Grammar improves through speaking, not before it.
That is so true. I have many friends who study for years but never open their mouths because they're afraid.
And that's why the daily routine is so important. Consistency is the key. It's better to practice for 15 minutes every day than for 3 hours once a week.
Can you give our listeners a simple plan they can start today?
Of course, in the morning, do your mirror talk for 10 minutes. Talk about your plans for the day. In the afternoon, try a 1-minute challenge. Pick a topic, like your favorite food, and speak about it for 60 seconds without stopping.
And what about the evening?
Before you sleep, do a daily recap. Spend 5 minutes speaking aloud about everything you did that day. I went to work. I bought groceries. I felt tired. It builds your storytelling skills.
I love how manageable this is. It shows that you don't need to be a nerd or have a PhD to be good at English.
Not at all. You just need to show up every day with a positive attitude. English is a tool for your life. It is power and it is freedom. It opens doors to better jobs, travel, and new friends.
It really does make the world feel smaller and more connected.
It does. So to all our listeners who feel frustrated, don't give up. You are making progress every time you listen and every time you try to say a sentence. You are not alone on this journey.
We are here to support you. And remember, it's okay to be a bit clumsy with your words at first. That's how we all learn.
Well said, Christine. English is simpler than you think because it's a living language. It wants you to use it. It wants you to connect.
Thank you, William. These tips have really bolstered my spirits. I feel much more confident now.
I'm glad to hear that. To everyone listening, start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The right moment is right now.
Keep practicing, keep smiling, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.